Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Future of Trucking and Transportation with me, your host, Jerri Banks. Hey, look, we have a action-packed show today, a lot of information that I want to share, and I want to say thank you so much for being here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me across all of my platforms. I'm Jerri Banks, owner and founder of Life on the Road Recruiting and Transportation Services. We are a full service recruiting on one side and education on the other side. The show is part of our education component where we take and we educate our drivers in regards to the future of trucking, in regards to how to prepare, what you need to be doing from a career development perspective to get ready for all things autonomous, all things automation, and new technology entering into the trucking and transportation industry. So we're here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Um, here again, we talk about new things coming into the industry. We talk about new partnerships. We talk about traditional truck driving jobs, as well as jobs in the autonomous sector, where you can take your current skills and combine them with new skills and become a game changer for someone's company. And then lastly, on the learning lane, I share actionable tips and things that you can use to excel in the transportation and trucking industry. These tips are going to help you reskill and upskill for the new future that our industry is moving into. And so I'm so glad you're here. Make sure you are connected with me across all of my platforms. And I want to share some news. I want to tell you where I am doing the show today. You don't see my US map on the back behind me that you normally see. Today I am in Paris, France. Yes, I said it right. You heard me. I am in Paris, France today. I am doing the show from there. As you guys know, I am also an aviation consultant. I do a lot of consulting for aviation companies. And what do you think is going on in Paris right now? I don't even want to tell you or have to tell you because you already know what's been going on in Paris for the last few weeks. But that is why I'm here supporting one of my aviation consultant customers. And I will be here through next Monday. So, look, I may share some of my Paris experience with you when I go out on the town. I've only been here for the last 24 hours. I haven't even left my room. I've been like nothing but working, but I will be going out here within the next probably later this evening. It is actually 5 p.m. right now in Paris. So yeah, it is actually 5 p.m. in Paris, 10 a.m. where a lot of you guys are, 11 a.m. where my audience is. But yes, I'm on the other side of the globe. But thank you so much for being here. No matter where I am, I do my best to ensure, unless I'm on a plane or in a very important meeting, I do my best to ensure that I am here connecting with you guys, sharing information with you guys, and just updating you on the future of transportation, not necessarily just trucking. I'm going to share all the information that I find out with you. But when we come back, I have a partnership that I want to share with you that is between an autonomous developer and a mega trucking company that you need to know about. I'll be right back. I'm Jerri Banks. Our agency focuses on driver recruitment and driver education. We focus on helping drivers and preparing them for the future of trucking and transportation as autonomous vehicles and automation enters the industry. Our goal is to ensure that you are equipped with the skills that you need to be successful in this new way of life. So make sure you connect with me across all of my platforms. Jerri Banks, Autonomous Trucking. I look forward to connecting with you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I would be remiss if I did not say hello to all of my friends on TikTok, Hello, TikTok. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Make sure you are following me on that platform as well as all the other platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Future of Transportation. Future of Transportation. That's where you can see the show live, the commercials, and all the things. But I have my TikTok family. They are always behind the scenes. They get to see the before, the after, the during, the in between breaks, and things like that. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. We're going to move right into the show. I do have a partnership that I want to share with you. It's hot off the press. The information was just released on the 7th of August, so just 2 days ago. And it is a partnership between Kodiak and JB Hunt. So, Kodiak, who is an autonomous developer, I've talked about them on a lot of shows. They are in the top five of autonomous. Also, I use it interchangeably between autonomous, the word autonomous, and the word self driving. They mean the same thing. It's the truck driving by itself or the truck driving with a safety operator in the truck. And so Kodiak, who is has a operation out of Dallas, Texas, they are partnering with JB Hunt, and they've been doing this since January. So this isn't a new partnership, and I think they've been partnering well before then, well before January. But this partnership of transporting tires, they're transporting Bridgestone. So it's a three-part partnership. It's a partnership between Kodiak Robotics, that's the self driving software technology company. And so their software is in the truck, and I've got their picture right here. And then we've got Bridgestone, who is the tire maker. They make passenger tires. And then we've got JB Hunt, which everybody knows JB Hunt. They are a major mega trucking company moving freight across the United States, a lot of dedicated freight. And so this is one of their dedicated accounts, Bridgestone, Bridgestone tires. And so in this partnership, Kodiak and JB Hunt have partnered together to move the tires for Bridgestone. And they're moving these tires between Dallas, Texas, and South Carolina. And so here's where they're dropping the tires off. So Kodiak handles the middle mile, the long haul. They handle the long haul portion of the load. So that's that long stretch between Texas and Georgia. Okay, follow me now. So the stretch between Texas and Georgia, the tires are being moved by a self-driving truck. All right. Now, the first mile and the last mile, that's being handled by an actual driver. So a driver is actually getting in the truck, they're driving the truck around, they're dropping off at the different stores or the distribution center and taking the tires to the different places that it needs to go. The long haul portion is being handled by an autonomous truck. Now, so far, they have delivered over 50,000 miles moving tires, over 50,000 miles of moving these Bridgestone passenger car tires between Texas and and Georgia. And then once they get to Georgia, they go to South Carolina, and that's where a driver does that route. A driver gets them to the truck port in Dallas, and then at the truck port, the autonomous truck takes it all the way to Georgia. And so, again, since launching in January, they've done over 50,000 miles, and they said they have achieved this with no accidents and 100% on time deliveries and 100% on time pickups. And so, this just goes to show you that autonomous trucks, self-driving trucks, whether you like it or not, they are out there and they are moving freight. And so that long haul stretch between Atlanta and Dallas, it's about 750 miles. It takes about 16 hours, and it's completed using their self driving technology that's inputted into a truck. And not only are they using Kodiak's self driving technology, that truck that's moving those tires is also fitted with Bridgestone tires. So it has the M719 drive tires and then the R213 steer tires, all made by Bridgestone. So they're moving tires and they're using the tires that that company makes to move those. And so, again, this is just to show you and share with you that things are progressing very, very quickly in the trucking and transportation industry when it comes to technology. Now, will we see a light switch flip on and all these autonomous trucks are going to be out on the roadways? No, we won't see that, but we will see a slow integration of some of these autonomous developers with their software, adding it into semi trucks. You've already got driver assist. You've already got that driver assist where it does lane correction. It helps. It informs you if you're getting tired. It does the braking. Like you've already got some of this technology in here. And so you want to stay ahead of the game, you want to stay knowledgeable, and you want to make sure you're connected with me so you are ahead of the game and you are knowledgeable on what's going on. Now, so I want to talk about the return because they don't take tires back to Dallas. What they do is they utilize JB Hunt's 360 box. It's a fluid network of over 14,000 company trailers, and that's how they get the capacity to return back to Dallas. And what that does is that prevents them from going back empty. And we all know JB Hunt has a very extensive network of freight and shippers and things like that. And so they are able to get loads to go back to Dallas. So they bring tires over in the self-driving truck, and then they take freight back in the self-driving truck. And so um, this is different. This is different. So it solved their some backhaul challenges that they were having, being able to partner with JB Hunt, but the tires go to um, go to a plant in Graniteville, South Carolina, and where they originate from in Georgia, it's a partnership. And I don't know that you know this already, but Kodiak has a partnership with Pilot, the truck stop, where that Pilot is in Villarica, Georgia, and they started this partnership over a year ago. So it shows you that these companies and Kodiak in particular, because they're the one that I see that's out there building these partnerships and making these connections. If they have a partnership with Pilot in Villarica, Georgia, that is going to expand because we all know where the pilots are. They're everywhere. Like you drive down I-10, you drive down 35, you drive down 45, they are 95. We have pilots everywhere. And so that Villarica, Georgia truck port at the pilot, it positioned them on the East Coast because they were just in Texas. They have a partnership with Ryder in Texas. And Ryder, we know, is the mechanic, it's the maintenance. It's the leasing of trucks, but more importantly, it's the roadside assistance. And they have a partnership with Ryder in Houston, Texas. And so this company, and hats off to them because this company is truly um, forward thinking and they are truly being the visionary when it comes to the future of transportation and establishing key partnerships that are going to help them expand across the United States. So if you've been at that pilot in Villarica, Georgia, I want you to tap in. I want you to let me know what you've seen, what changes you've seen there, because that pilot, and thank you so much for sharing the live, JMG. That pilot is it is where, and let me tell you what happens at a truck port, so I can just really help you see and visualize a truck port. It's not it's essentially like a terminal, right? And what happens there is when they bring the semi truck there, the self-driving semi truck there, they'll have drivers that are doing the unhooking of the trailers, and they're doing the hooking of the trailers. They're doing the fueling. They're doing any maintenance checks. And so that is like the hub of where everything happens before that autonomous semi truck either goes back to where it's going, where it came from, or to where it where we take things off of the trailer and then connect that trailer to another driver driven truck that will go out to the stores or to the distribution centers. So essentially, the self-driving truck is doing the long stretches. It's doing the stretches where there's not a lot of, complex turning and, street driving and things like that. They're doing the long haul portion. And so, what I've heard Kodiak say a lot is, and not just Kodiak, I've heard a lot of these self-driving companies say that, um, the truck port, the hub areas, those are gonna be where they do the most hiring and have the most local drivers that are gonna be delivering the freight locally, where they have the drivers that are gonna be, working in teams there, and that's what I always talk about, teams, not team driving, but I mean being able to work in a team, being able to work in a team setting, because if you're OTR, you're used to being alone. Like, face it, you used to like not talking to nobody. My son's a trucker, so he is used to like his space and not working with nobody, not talking to nobody other than his dispatcher every now and then. But when you work in these terminals, when you work in these local hubs and things like that, you will work in a team setting. You will work in a group setting because you're hooking up trailers, you're fueling, you're working with your partners to do any routine maintenance that needs to be done. And so we're going to see more and more of these hubs start to come about. And the drivers that we talk to at our recruiting agency, the first thing that they ask for are local opportunities. Do you have any local? Do you have anything where I can be home every day? Do you have anything that is going to allow me to just maybe drive within, a 300 or 500-mile radius so that I can get back home? And so we're going to see these truck ports when they start hiring. And as they start growing, that is going to be um, what we see. So that is the partnership that I wanted to share with you guys. Um, JB Hunt does have their distribution center. It's right out of Dallas. It's approximately 50 miles from Lancaster to Bridgestone, the tire company's distribution center. So everything's right there in Dallas. And if you've been following me for any time, any point of time, or watching the show for any point of time, you know that I talk about Dallas a lot. Dallas and just Texas in general is a hub for all things, um, all things self-driving, all things new technology, all things autonomous, because a couple reasons. Texas is um I like to say that Texas, because I'm a Texan, born and bred Texan, right? Texas is we're kind of like our own little country. Like we kind of just, do our own little thing over in Texas. And so in Texas, the regulatory environment is very, very friendly and really ready and willing and able to work with all self-driving companies. Um, Tesla has its hub in Austin. Um, they have a lot going on in Austin for self-driving. You've got Aurora, who moved their operations center to the Dallas, Texas area. I think they're in Lancaster as well. And they have their headquarters is in Pittsburgh, but their operations, where they do the testing and the deployment and things like that, and have roots, is in Texas. It's in the Dallas area. So you've got Aurora Innovation, who is running freight between Houston and Dallas and San Antonio, and Dallas and El Paso. Then, of course, Kodiak, who I've been talking about, they've got their headquarters is in California, but they got their operations right there in Dallas. And so we're going to see, and there's several others that are in Dallas as well. WAABI, go look it up. WAABI. They're another one of those developers. They recently moved to Texas, Dallas area. Um, who else is in Texas and Dallas? Gatik, Gatik, Gatik AI. They are also in the Dallas, Texas area. These are all self-driving, autonomous trucking companies who have created a software, and they're integrating their software and inserting it into semi trucks. And so we see from a recruitment perspective, from a recruiter being deep in this industry, we're starting to see things change. This is not, whether you like it or not, this is not a driver market. This is not a driver market. Um, what it is a company market. It is a company market. And so let me tell you the difference between a driver market and a company market. And matter of fact, I'll do that when I come back right after this break. I'm going to tell you the difference of what a driver market is versus a company
When
market.
it comes to autonomous trucks entering the trucking and transportation industry, up until now, you've only heard bits and pieces, news here, news there. There's been no centralized place for you to learn about autonomous trucks. Join me every Wednesday and Thursday and Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time as I share information, news, and education on how you can stay prepared for autonomous trucks and autonomy entering the trucking and transportation industry.
All right. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So, I said I was going to talk about the difference between a company market and a driver market. And I want to give you an example because the company market, we're seeing a company market right now, but we saw a driver market during or on the back end of COVID. On the back end of COVID, during COVID, we really saw a driver market. And what I mean by a driver market is that there's so many opportunities. There's so many jobs. Drivers, as long as you have a good driving record, you have a good, a okay background, it didn't even have to be super spectacular. You have a good driving record, your background's okay, you haven't killed anybody, um, you got a pulse, you can breathe, you would get hired. That was what we saw, right? As a recruiter, I'm telling you, That's what we saw. If you could walk and talk and drive in a straight line, pass the road test, and didn't have a whole lot of blemishes on your driving record, you hadn't abandoned anybody's truck, you hadn't killed anybody, you could get a job. Well, now that is no longer the case. And in a driver's market, it did not matter how many jobs you had. It did not matter back then how many jobs you had. You could have 15 jobs. Well, maybe not 15. I'm exaggerating. You could have had, maybe 10 jobs in a year. 10 jobs in a year. And companies would hire you. Companies would hire you with that background, with those stipulations, or with what you had going on. Companies would hire you. Well, that was the driver market. Today we're in the company market, and those drivers no more. They don't want that type of driver. So companies can be very, very particular in this type of market who they want to bring onto their company. They can they have been able to adjust their hiring guidelines. We have companies that do not want more than 2 jobs in the last 6 months. That's an average of, 3 jobs, that's an average of 3 months, being at a job for 3 months at a time. And so it's very important, and that's why I talk about it all the time. It's very important that um you're taking really good care of your driving record. You're not getting any safety terminations. We in the past had companies who would hire you after you have been terminated from one company for safety. We had companies that would consider your application, talk with you, and bring you in. That is not the case anymore. Nobody is hiring a driver with a safety termination. None of the larger companies. You may find a small mom and pop who, will bring you on and waive that safety termination to the side. But that is no longer the case. A lot of companies are being very, very particular on who they hire. And will we see that change at any point in the future? I don't see it changing for at least another 6, maybe 7 months. We're starting to see the market kind of like, because we know if you've been in trucking for any point in time, it goes like this. It goes up and down since trucking started, right? Well, we're on the down, but we're starting to come out. We're starting to see the come up. Um, and so we've seen a lot of companies fall off. We've a lot of trucking companies fall off. We've seen a lot of dispatching companies fall all the way off. And so it is important that as a driver, right now, you are doing nothing but ensuring your driving record is safe. You're staying out of the clearinghouse from a violation perspective. You're ensuring that everything is clean. You're not hopping around with jobs. You're getting somewhere and you're sticking it out. Be with the company for at least 6 months if you can. If you can stick it out for 6 months, you're an okay driver. Thumbs up, okay? But companies are not looking at drivers with a lot of a poor work history. No longer are they doing that. And so that is why I stress, and my son's a driver. You guys know I have his little action plan of how long he was with his first company for the 3 months so he can get his 3 months of experience. Moved him to the next company, and that's where he's at, and that's where he's staying. And so it's important that you keep your driving record clean. It's important that you don't job hop and do your best to prevent any accidents. Stay safe. That is key. That is most important. And I'm just telling you exactly what we're seeing from a recruiting perspective. That is exactly what we're seeing. So I'm going to be sharing a job in the next segment, and this job is going to be a dedicated position. I always share and love to talk about dollar stores because, as I was just talking about, it is a company hiring market right now. And the reason being is the freight. It is the freight. And so as companies get more and more freight, we'll see a increase in hires. And we're already starting to see the uptick and the increase in hires, but they're so particular on who they're bringing on. And if you don't cut the mustard, you don't cut the mustard. So I'm going to share a quick video, real quick, on a me in a self-driving Waymo vehicle, and I'll be right back.
Would you ever ride in a self driving car? I did, and it was exciting. It was a Waymo Jaguar, and it was very similar to setting up an Uber. The biggest thing I can say about this car is its safety. It wouldn't leave until I was buckled up. And then on the screen, I got to see cars that were next to us, on the side of us, and in front of us. This was exciting. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments.
Yes. So here we talk about, on this show, we talk about automation. We talk about self-driving vehicles, whether it is passenger cars, whether it is trucks, because those are coming. They are here right now. I was just in New York. Um, I'm in Paris now. I was in New York 24 hours ago. And at the JFK airport, they're doing a pilot on buses that are self-driving. Well, they already have the electric buses, but they're doing a pilot on buses in a specific parking lot that are self-driving and moving passengers from their parking area to the actual terminals. We're going to see more and more of that. And so the idea and the goal is to ensure that you're knowledgeable, you stay up to date on the information and what's going on around you and in your industry, and that you are preparing your career for these advancements and these upgrades because they are coming and they are coming fast. In Tennessee, dedicated account is because that is the freight that does not slow down. That freight typically is you're moving. You're not going to be sitting at the shipper and waiting and things like that. You're not going to be wondering if let me see. I think my system froze, but we will be back.
$30.84 an hour. $30.84 an hour plus overtime. I'm looking for Class A CDL drivers with at least 2 years of experience. That experience has to be oversized, overdimensional, and overweight. You have to have been pulling at least 108 feet in length for your load. I already told you about the pay, so you know how good that is. You need to be willing to be out at least 3 to 4 weeks at a time. You get home for 7 full days, but you're out 3 to 4 weeks at a time. If you qualify, if you meet the experience requirements, if you have oversized, overdimensional, overweight, and have pulled 108 feet length in a load, over 2 years of experience, hit me up.
All right, all right. Welcome back. Now, that position, that is a great position in hiring. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you text the girls or reach out. I'll pop the number up here. But I want to talk about this dollar store account. This is a dedicated dollar store account, and it is hiring in Texas. So actually, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Georgia. And so It is within if you live within any of these hiring radiuses, so a 50-mile radius of Lake Charles, Louisiana, a 50-mile radius of Texas, a 75-mile radius of Texarkana, Texas. And this position, it's a Holland for Dollar Tree, and it's out of the distribution center in South Carolina. So you're going to be delivering flight. So you're going to be delivering freight to Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. So all in that little region, you're going to be delivering freight with, and it's a 34-hour reset weekly and pulling 53-foot dry vans. Now, let me tell you about the dollar store. Okay, so the dollar store is a touch freight. 100%, you have to be willing and able to touch freight. You have to be willing and able, hands down. No if, ands, buts, questions, concerns. We have to know that you're able to do and unload the freight. Now, typically a lot of these companies, when they're hiring for a dollar store, they do the standard DOT physical at orientation. It's a 3-day orientation, but they also do what we call a physical standards test. And this physical standards test is typically done to see that you can lift, over 50 pounds or 70 pounds, whatever. I think it's 50 pounds. You can lift it over your head. You can stoop down with it. They typically ask you to do like the duck walk and things like that. But that is and I've had drivers that have come back and tell me, hey, I got to balance on one foot. I had to balance on one foot. I had to balance on one foot for 10 seconds and then balance on another foot for 10 seconds. I don't know if I can do that. That's a long time. And it might not be 10, it might be 5 seconds. But the physical standards test is what most companies do. And so I want you to um, watch as I share a video. And this is my boy. Well, he's not a boy anymore. He's like 27 or something like that. But this is him unloading a dedicated dollar store account that he's on right now. Now, it is kind of fast, but you get the point. You get the point. The point is you're going to be touching box by box. And on that truck, he was probably like 3/4 of the way through it, but it is a full trailer loaded from front to back full of boxes. And if you know dollar stores have canned goods and food and water, perishables, toilet paper, things like that. So it could be heavy boxes, it could be light boxes. So you're going to be moving and you're putting each box on the roller piece by piece by piece. Now, this particular account, it pays $67,600 a year, and it is consistent freight. It is consistent freight. And I like to say that, and we have dollar stores open in quite a few areas. So if you're interested in a dollar store, make sure you text the girls, text the team, or call the team. And the number is, let me put the number here at the bottom. But I want you to text dollar stores. If you're interested in a dollar store, I want you to text dollar stores, and they'll know to they'll ask you for your zip code and they'll see what's in your area. If you are in an area where there's a dollar store, they're gonna get you going right away. Okay. Typically, the approval process, they screen you, they get you to do an application. They and we submit it to our company and process it. We normally know within a few hours, within 4 to 5 hours, as long as you sign the releases, as long as all the information we've given on the application is accurate and true and correct, We can process you, start running your reports, and get you approved dollar store account. And so I want you to um, check it out. And here's the thing about dollar stores: America, when America is on a budget, America shops at dollar stores. America doesn't go to Target. America doesn't go to Walmart. And yeah, my internet in Paris is just horrible. Paris said Sarah said I froze again. Yeah, it is just horrible. My internet here in Paris is just horrible. So y'all bear with me. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to come on. I was in another a lot of information that I wanted to share with you. But for dollar stores, y'all, America shops at dollar stores. They is the place. And the girl that I was talking about on TikTok, she had a video on TikTok, and it said she had where you get washing powder, soap, dishing liquid. You could get it for like $5.10. And I'm like, what? $5.10 for all those things, but it was with coupons, it was manufacturer coupons, and all you do is click an app in the dollar store app, and you're cooking with grease. Like, so that just goes to show you that I say that to say that dollar store is a great account to be on right now. If you're sitting, if you're not moving, if you're not making the money, the consistent money, because you might have one good check a month that's like, 13, 15, $1,600, but then the other checks might be 500. That don't even balance out, or 600. That doesn't even balance out. So if you want to do some work, you want to make some money, and you want to have some consistency in being able to pay your rent on time, this is a great account. So text dollar stores. The girls are standing by to be able to get you locked in onto that account. Um, and if y'all have favorite part of the show. And so on the learning lane, I just kind of give some actionable tips to share for you so that you can take those tips and use those tips, and just learn and know and grow. And I want to talk about it's a question, and it's a question that I teach the girls to ask when we're pre-screening, right? And the question is a very simple question, and you might have been asked this question by a recruiter. Drop it in the chat in the comments if you've been asked this question before. You guys as well, drop it in the comments. I'd like to know if that's something that you've been asked before. But the question right now, and that question goes different ways, right? Depending on what your answer is. And I'm talking to you from a recruiter's perspective, so you know how recruiters think. And as we move more and more in this company market where they're being stricter on their hiring requirements, stricter on who they bring into their companies, this question is something that you need to know about as a truck driver. And the question is, again, are you working right now? And if the driver tells me yes, they're working, then follow-up is, why are you either entertaining another position? Why did you apply for this position? Why are you looking for another job? Like, something is wrong, and I want to know. Because as a recruiter, I want to know, because I want to make sure that I don't put you in that same situation that you're already in. right? Um, if you're not making enough money, I want to make sure that I can offer you something that is comparable or much more than what you're already making, right? And then I want to know if there's challenges that you're having, and if I've heard drivers say they've got these same type of challenges at another company, I'm not going to put you with that company. So the question, are you working right now? And then the follow up question, if you are working, why are you leaving? Why are you interested in leaving? Like, I really want to understand that. And as a recruiter, that helps me understand how to place you, where to place you, and how to use you're a driver that has been at that same company for years, that tells me that you stick it out. You typically stick it out even when things are going tough. And so that is what I like to know. The other side of that question is, if you're not working, I want to know, when was the last time you worked? And if the last time that, and I get in your business. I get in your business. So I'm a recruiter that is gonna really, because I want to know who I'm putting with my customers. And what have you been doing? And if you tell me that you haven't worked in the last year, that's going to be hard for me to explain to my customer. So I want to know what you were doing. I want to know if you had a side hustle, if you were, doing something on the side. Like, what's your drive? Like, how are you paying your bills? Basically, what are you doing? And so the all of those things really say a lot about you and your character. And maybe you were self-employed. Maybe you were doing lawn mowing or something like that. You had your own lawnmower business, but it still shows that you were doing something. Like, I wasn't just sitting down for the last year. And so I want you, when a recruiter asks you that question, I want these questions that I just kind of broke down. I want you to think about how you answer them. I want you to think about what you're saying, and how you come across, in answering those questions. And that question again, if you're just tapping in, the question is, are you working right now? And if yes, why are you looking to leave that company? Because as a recruiter, or as someone that's interviewing you, they're thinking to themselves, oh, if he left, or is looking to leave that company, or she's looking to leave that company because of this, will that be the same thing that happened at our company? Or if she's, just got to that company, has only been there for 2 weeks, is she going to stay with us longer than 2 weeks? And so that's what these companies are thinking about. That's what they're thinking about. So be very strategic in how you answer these questions. Don't just be, oh, and I had a young lady, and it wasn't in trucking, it was in aviation. Um, I had a young lady tell me, I asked her, and it was aviation, it wasn't trucking, but I asked her if she was working, and she said no. And then I asked her, why she wasn't working. And she said she's just been looking for work, and I get that. And then I asked her, so when was the last time you worked? And she said it was been about 3 months. And so immediately, like, things start coming up to my mind. Okay, so it's 3 months. How you paying your bills? I need to know that. The other thing is, why did you leave that company? Like, why would you leave a company? And this is just my thought process, because my husband won't do this, and I'll kill him if he do. And this is a female, but it's different. But why would you leave a company if you don't have anything else set up or lined up? Because how are we going to eat? How are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to, you know what I mean? And so I do have drivers do the same thing. Like, they'll leave a company. And my question to her was, why did you leave that company and you didn't have anything else to say set up to be able to pay your bills? And her answer was that the company was unorganized. Well, that even further I need to understand more about why you left because if you don't have anything set up, you haven't worked in 2 to 3 months, why you leave that company if you don't have no other job lined up? If you're not working anywhere else lined up. And so those are things that we're thinking about as recruiters when we're interviewing you. And you might not think you're on an interview, but you're getting asked a lot of questions and they are interviewing you. So be thinking about your answers before you apply for these companies. If you got a gap, you need to be able to explain that gap. You need to be able to go into detail about, what you were doing during that time frame. If you got a lot of jobs, a lot of companies don't want to hear, oh, well, this company didn't do this or this company didn't do that. It just looks like you have a lot of jobs. So be thinking about that before you move around to another company. So that's our show. That's our learning lane. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. If you're not already connected with me and tapped in, make sure you do. For those of you that are just tapping into the show, I am in Paris, France. Y'all know what's going on in Paris. I'm not here on vacation. Let me say that I am not here on vacation. I wish I was. One day I will be, but I'm here for work and with one of my aviation clients. Both a lot of you guys know that I have 22 years in the aviation industry and I've 7 years in the trucking industry. I'm going on 30 years in this transportation industry, y'all. 30 years in this transportation industry, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've had. Um, and I'm so thankful and I'm so glad to be able to share information with you, to be here to and be able to pour my knowledge and different things that I've seen um, in the industry into you guys. So thank you again so much for being here. I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, same time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see y'all next week. Bye now.